back to the house where I was born at? I don't know, but the thing about just being here at Grambling is a prestige program. Like I said, it's a national brand, and also it's a pressure cooker. Like I said, you gotta be ready to go. You gotta be ready to play. You gotta be able to take people best shots. But I think it's a great place. It's a wonderful place. I'm happy to be here. I'm honored to be the head coach here at Grambling, and and following Coach Robertson and Doug Williams, shoes, and like that I can fill their shoes, but just that you're just grateful that you're getting this opportunity with this rich tradition.
That's the next thing I was going to ask you, Coach. Do you feel any kind of pressure, knowing that you got a strong alumni you just met, and Coach Hugh, I like Coach Hugh, but the stick was short,
Yeah.
And I guess the tolerance level is getting shorter. But do you feel any pressure?
Well, you know what? I don't feel. I know it's a pressure cooker, but I don't feel pressure because I think that we have a recipe for winning. I think the structure that we put into the program and the recruiting that that we're going to do, but I think we can get this thing back rolling, right away. So we believe in ourselves. We're going to believe in the kids. We're going to believe in the process, and we're going to go forward. We're not going to look in our rearview mirror and look what's behind us. We're going to go forward, like we said. We're going to have stop signs every week. We have a stop sign, and we don't stop at it. The first stop sign is ULL. But right now we're not worrying about ULL. We're worrying about ourselves. We're trying to get ourselves together. So we're focusing on ourselves. Before we can worry about ULL, we got to get right, and that's what we tell the kids. But this is a great place. But we understand that we should win. Grambling should win. Grambling deserves to win because of the tradition and because that you got to do things the right way.
Most definitely. Coach, you've been coaching a while. What have been some of the things that you didn't expect thus far in coaching?
Well, you know what? The NIL thing, it's big right now. The transfer portal is big. You can agree with it or disagree with it, but you're going to have to get down with it because it's part of college football right now. I mean, college football is a low-level free agency because it's big level free agency in the NFL level, but it's low level here. Kids can move every 2 years if they want to. So you gotta get that in your system and say, okay, even if you don't accept it, you gotta get in the game with it. And one thing, we want to go back to the old school way of developing players.
Right.
So we always talk about our roster is going to be 85% high school kids where we can develop and 15% from the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think once you balance it like that, that's like an NFL. NFL is 85% of the roster is through the draft, 15% is through free agency. So we want to kind of have that model, but we want to develop kids. We want kids to come in when they're 18 years old, and when they're 22, we want to say, man, remember he was a baby. Now he's a grown man. But you know how it goes. I mean, you get a kid here and he has a great year, the Power Fives will come and grab him. And it's hard to compete with them. If they give it 400,000, 500,000, it's hard for that kid to say no. So we understand what type of game we're in right now, and so we're gonna coach every game like it's our last game, but we're gonna get after it with our players, and we're gonna try to restore this order.
With the UIL deal, how are you guiding your guys? Because like you said, that can be a tunnel to disaster if you don't know the legalities in it. But what kind of structure and guidance are you giving these guys that are getting these UIL deals?
Well, we always tell them, I instruct them about how you use your money, and also instruct them that you better pay your taxes. Because if you don't pay your taxes, Uncle Sam's going to find you and they're going to come after you. So you try to get them to have some structure with their money. But you're talking about, you're giving kids, if you're giving kids $10,000, you really don't know what to do with that.
Right.
But buy shoes and buy clothes. So you got to teach them how to put it away and save something from a rainy day. So you're always talking to them about life. And you always tell them that football is going to end one day. So you better make sure, you're getting this NIL deals. You better make sure you're getting your education also. And that's one thing that we're preaching. We're preaching that you got to go to class, you got to go to study hall, you got to get your education. And that's going to help them down the line.
One immediate thing before we let you go, Coach, now that you're on campus, I heard you saying about, several buildings and structures that you want to revamp and reformulate. What was your immediate idea when you went back on campus that you seen it need a change right now?
Well, we did it at LSU. We tore our building. We remodeled our building, our weight room. We remodeled our locker room. We remodeled the building, and I think it's time for a change to remodel our building, and I think we can do that. I think once you do that, it's up to date and it's comfortable living space for these kids because they spend a lot of time in that building, with lifting weights and meetings, and just hanging out. Just you want it to a point where they're hanging out there. You want them to hang out there. You let them hang out there and do anything else. So we got to do some things, and just get the structure of the building going. But that's some of the things that we're looking forward to do.
And I before we let you go, I heard you was talking about the heat advisory. I'm a high school official, so I know about the heat advisory, and I didn't know they just passed it for the NCAA. And you're saying that you're trying to get some more night games. And Coach, to be honest with you, man, that's the best thing I've heard for Grambling in the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Because those daytime games, yes, that's exciting for the campus, but when you look at it, it's not exciting for the boys because people don't understand how hot it is on their turf. And to hear you say that, Coach, me and Mr. Bashir said that was the most profound thing that we have heard in the last 15, 20 years before they moved the visitor side back to the home side. Because we used to be sitting in the heat, on the visitor side. But to hear you say that, what made you, besides the heat, want to play at night?
Well, everybody around the country is playing at night in September because it's down south, especially because it's so hot. And you're going to put these kids out at 110 degrees on that turf. That don't make no sense to me. And I'm going to fight to play at night. And I think my kids deserve to play at night. They deserve a fair shot to win these games. But if you put them in that heat, it's 110 degrees. They're gonna be passing out. They, no matter how much you work out, the heat can be your friend, but the heat can also be your enemy. And so I'm pushing to play some night games.
Well, we're glad, Coach, that you was able to stop through and share with us a few minutes, But like I say, Coach, I'm so glad to have you here and you came, stop through Emmersed 360. We right down the road, Coach. We want to continue to keep up with you guys, come on campus, do interviews with you here and there, see how you're feeling and what you think about the program as the season progresses. Before you let you go, we always ask all our guests, just being from this area before and coming back now, what change have you seen? Is it for the better or for the worse? Your honest opinion, Coach.
Well, I think it's for the better. I think it's for the better because you see the kids that's in the locker room now, that they didn't understand when I first got here about Grambling, but I think they understand it now that you play for Grambling. It's a rich tradition. It's guys that played in the NFL. They have the most guys that ever played in the NFL. So I enjoy the fan base, and the fan base can be rough. That's okay with me because I want people to be honest, and I want people to say what's on their mind because that's so many people these days. You can't say what's on your mind because they get into their feelings. I'm not going to get into my feelings. I'm going to give you a straightforward answer, just like I want you to give me a straightforward answer. Hey, we all gonna make mistakes. We all gonna make mistakes, but if you make a mistake and you don't own it, then people go get sideways with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, like I say, we appreciate you, man. We wish you all the best of luck with this season. Like I said, we listened to you speak to the alumni, and we heard some great things. Unfortunately, things didn't work out with Coach Jackson. Two different style of people already. I know just listening to you and knowing Coach Jackson, two different styles of coaching philosophy. So GSU fans, get ready. Coach Mickey Joseph is back in the building. Go Grambling. Coach, thank you once again, man, for stopping through at Emmersed 360. And hey, like I say, go Tigers. We rooting for you, Coach.
Man, appreciate y'all. Y'all welcome anytime to come down, and Grand fan for life, baby.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm your host, Maserati. I want to thank you guys for tuning in for this episode of Beyond the Game with GSU Fighting Tigers new head coach, Mickey Joseph. I'm your host. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all get involved. Stay encouraged. And most of all,